Day 2.
Day 2.
September 3rd. Fairly warm for 10,000 feet. You can
Yes,
see our
it
breath,
is.
but I bet it's 45,
Yeah.
maybe 50. No bugles again all night. And I'm pretty sure if there were bugles, we'd be hearing them, because we're just in a amphitheater of elk country.
Yes. All I could dream about last night was that bull that we saw 2 miles away.
On the wrong property.
Yeah.
I tried calling him in, but he wasn't interested yet.
No.
We'll go find one that is interested.
Yes.
Okay.
Up to
12,325 feet today. That's our goal.
All right. This is take 2. John took last year off and he's a little rusty on hitting the record button, so anyway, we're about 3 hours into it this morning. We're up at about 11:06. We've gotten into a lot more sign, a lot more tracks. Squirrels keep throwing raisins at me. But we're definitely, there's a couple of wallows that we've walked by and a significant amount of tracks, more than it was yesterday. So it's looking promising. And Corey yesterday was...
What'd you say about Oreos?
Corey was sitting yesterday kind of digging in the rocks and stuff, and got me thinking about the Indiana Jones movie, and he's just always so miserable. It's like, didn't understand it, but I got to thinking that he is an archaeologist, so his life is pretty much in ruins. responding, and we'll get some action other than squirrels.
We're seeing a few more tracks. No fresh poop, not a lot of fresh rubs, but saddle back up here. Really good north face on the backside of it with some, probably the headwaters of a creek right in there, so figured we'd come over here and go out this ridge. It drops into a north face. I'll just hike along here. Thermals are coming up now. See if we can see any sign or hear a bugle or something down in there. If not, probably just hang out in here most of the day. And then tonight, we'll drop back down in that saddle. There's a meadow there. We're just not seeing a lot of sign. There's one here, one there, but early like this, it's tough.
When we were back at the gas station down right here, there's an old guy in there, and he saw us wearing some hunting clothes, and he's like, "You up here hunting?" It's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go up here hunting next couple of days." And he's like, "You better be careful out there." A couple years back, there was these two old boys that were up there, and there was this tree that they walked up to, and it had a couple of chunks of bacon tied to it. They walked over to it, took the bacon off, and they ate it. They got shot and killed. Turns out it was a ambush.
This is turning into a replay of last season.
First and second day.
Pretty much the whole last season's first week, huh?
Yeah.
Warm, not hot. It's like pleasant today.
No bugles.
No bugles. We're gonna find one though.
We're getting impatient just sitting around.
Yeah, we don't have a water hole to sit like we did last year.
No.
We're just gonna make our way along the edge of this north face. We're gonna get up on top of the ridge and just kind of go along, look for sign, listen for a bugle.
Wake somebody up.
Wake me up. I'm beat.
Really beat.
Felt like we hiked farther today than yesterday, but
It did.
you say 10 miles?
10 miles today, just under 10.
12 and a half yesterday.
Yes.
We had a lot more vertical today, though. We went to the top.
The top and over the back.
So we have covered pretty much everything from where camp is to the top of the mountain. There's one draw on the north side we haven't dropped into. We've bugled into it, but we haven't actually hiked into it yet. I think we've got a pretty good cross section of what's
all the
in
animals
here.
that are in here.
Yeah. And we have not.
Today we did not see a single elk until
Right before dark.
right before dark. At 3/4 of a mile away, there was 2 bulls sparring, 2 small
5
bulls.
minutes. We haven't jumped a single elk
No.
in 22 and a half miles of hiking.
I think I can only count like 2 piles of fresh poop on that entire distance as well.
There's a few in here, obviously, but I really think it's summer range for the bulls. I think this is where the bulls are in the summer. The cows must be lower, and the bulls leave here and go looking for the cows. And I think the mature bulls have already left, because what we're seeing is just the young ones left here, and they're not bugling. I would have to think the mature bulls, if they're near the cows, would be bugling, and we just aren't hearing it.
They might not be bugling by themselves, but they'd at least respond.
Yeah, especially tonight, walking out in the dark. We stopped at every vantage point and bugled a lot of country, but I'm pretty sure that my bugles have been heard on every square inch of land from here to the top of the mountain at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I was a little, worried, concerned that some of our viewers and followers were going to think less of us for hunting on private land, and it's not what we're used to, and certainly not what we've done the last 35 years. But I think I'd trade my landowner tag in for an OTC public land tag back in Idaho.
It's been a while since we did 2 10-mile days in a row, at least 10 miles.
And not heard a bugle.
And not heard a bugle.
Yeah. I mean, last year we hunted Idaho over-the-counter public land the first week of September, and it was slow. We anticipated it being a little slow, but I'm pretty sure we heard at least a bugle every day. We saw bulls every day. We were on fresh tracks, so it gave us hope, and that, it was a grind. We killed 2 bulls in 8 days or 7 days, but we had the tracks and the sign and a distant bugle and some sightings to keep us going.
Yep.
I think we need to change up what we're doing and drop down a little lower. So we're camped at about, I think, 10,200 feet, and it's basically mid-mountain, so down at 7,500, 7,000, something like that's the valley floor, and then 12.5's the top of the mountain. We've combed everything to the top, so I think tomorrow we've got to maybe swing to that canyon to the north and drop down it and come across. And we just got to find some sign. There's sign in here from 2 weeks ago. There's no doubt there were bulls in here, and there's still bulls here, but not the huntable type of elk that we're looking for.
They're not wandering around.
Yeah, they're not moving. They're just laying on a little knob on a ridge.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is that good enough?
Good morning intro. I finally got a good night's sleep. Got woke up at 4:30 by an elk bugling.
Now we just need to find him.
Yeah. He only bugled once. But I'm pretty sure I heard an elk raking last night too.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
It's been windy since about when the elk bugled at 4:30, but hopefully it dies off as soon as it gets daylight. There's no clouds. So.
Yeah.
We're gonna hit the lower section today and see if we can't drum up a elk that wants to talk.
See what we can find.
No. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Actually a pretty nice bull.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad.
Wonder why I won't be a Gladys.
Can't hear us. Yeah.
We're clear up here where there's no oxygen. Elk are all down where we can breathe.
Wonder why they can't bugle. We got a bugle. Little guy.
down in this draught of water. And they feed on this open hillside. And they bed on the backside of the mountain here, which unfortunately is out of bounds for us. So our only hope is to catch them here right at first light, or last little bit of daylight. But there were elk way down low, coming off of the other property onto this one. The bull we saw up here had 3 cows. He's just a small 6-point. The one down below that had like 10 cows looked like a nicer bull. Definitely seems like the elk are down lower. What's the plan?
Get out of the sun for a little bit.
It's cold in the shade though.
Well, it's just sunny and everything's bedded, it seems like. Or they're not here. We don't know. They're not bugling, but we're gonna go back over to that little water hole from this morning that had the bull just up above it. Kind of hang out for a little bit and see if they come into it during the midday, and if not, we'll make a game plan for later this afternoon to drop to the bottom.
All the elk are down low. I think the young bulls are still up high, but if we're gonna find a bigger bull, I think they're down close to the cows. And I think the cows are all down low where there's better feed and water. So.
Majority of the herds that we've seen were down low, so
that's a plan. If we're gonna take a nap somewhere, we might as well take a nap on the mountain next to a water hole.
Yeah.
Maybe get lucky. We tried that last year and it didn't work though. Well, that was a boring afternoon. It's 4:30 p.m. I think we've been sitting there since, what, 10? 6 hours. Got a nice little water hole here. So we were hoping middle of the day nothing's happening. Thought maybe something might come in, but no such luck. And I'm not one that does really well sitting still for 6 minutes, let alone 6 hours. So I have to have something to occupy my mind and my hands. And it's amazing what you can do with a little knife and a piece of aspen and some sap from a pine tree, complete with a rudder.
And oars.
And oars. But we'll see if it floats. Day 3.
Day 3.
A little better than the first 2 days.
A little better.
Wish we heard bugles.
Heard some bugles. Finally, right.
Saw some elk.
Saw some elk in the distance.
Yeah, this morning we saw the pretty nice bull with 10 cows way down low, so that's where we went tonight, and just hoping we might catch them coming back out, but they didn't. But right at dark, over on the property to the north of us, about 150 elk came running out. They were bugling a little bit. We had probably 4 or 5 bulls answer, and ended up having 2 come towards us in the dark there, so
Yep. Kind of right in our lap.
they're at least responsive to calls. A couple of them were, so
They're finally listening to us, and it's okay to bugle now.
well, I think we're just getting down where there were cows.
Yeah.
Up here high there just weren't cows, and so they won't have a reason to get excited or start bugling. But
Yeah.
so tomorrow we can either do what we did this morning, go out to the north at the same level, get out there a half hour earlier probably,
Yeah.
or we go down to the bottom so the thermals are good and just follow the elk back up the ridge.
See where they're coming up to.
Got options.
Yeah.
Not as many miles today. Would it be 6 or 7?
I think we had 5 when we got back here from the morning, and then
Probably 2 more down there.
2 more down there.
7, so 12 and a half, and then 10, and then 7. We're
Dwindling.
going the right. Yeah, the energy is waning here.
Yeah.
Finally hearing bugles. That's at least
Yeah.
makes it fun.
I was sneezing a lot today.
So was John.
Yeah.
A lot of dust.
And it seemed to happen every time I was thinking of like a metaphor. I think it really sets off my analogies.
You might have to explain that one.
It's a play on words.
But allergy,
When
analogy?
when I'm coming up with metaphors,
Yeah.
it makes me sneeze.
Okay.
It irritates my analogies.
Instead of your allergies.
Yes,
That was a stretch.
it was a stretch.
That was a stretch.
Only a few people have heard this. I told on this at an event this summer, but when we were down in town, there's a old fossil shop and a secondhand store in there. We went in and looked around and stuff, and when we were walking out, I opened up the door, and the guy coming in, he only had one hand, and I said, I don't think they're going to have what you're looking for here.
That was a little better.
Yeah.
A little better.
Okay.
I'll give you that
Redemption.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we done? This bright
think
light
we're
shining
done.
in my face is...
I'm ready to eat some food and
Oh, there.
get horizontal.
That's calming to the eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You bright and early.
It'll be early. Might not be bright.
Yeah.
Well, we got up extra early this morning, and we're gonna hike and try to get over to where we saw some elk yesterday morning in the draw to the north, and try to be there at daylight instead of leaving here close to daylight. So hopefully that gives us an extra 20 minutes of action.
That'd be 20 minutes more than
what
what we've been having.
It's full moon, it's early, so got a lot of things stacked against us, but there's only 30 days in September, so we're going to try to use every one of them.
Yes.
Well, not every one of them, but early, middle of the month, late, all the different parts of the month. So that's where we are. Here we go.
We'll see you when it's daylight.
And you start us off with the dad joke. Yeah, don't worry about it.
So there was.
You sure? Is this one going to be okay?
There was two nuts running around chasing each other.
Two nuts? Are you sure that wasn't squirrels?
Well, I could see it. I'm just thinking about yesterday, and they were the two squirrels chasing each other around. But no, these were the nuts. And the one nut said to the other nut, "I'm a cashew."
Wow. You can probably go back and tell some of the good ones you've told in the past. Oh man. Speaking of daylight, it's going to be light soon. When I was in college, I was so broke. We didn't pay our electric bill 1 month. Those were the darkest days of my life.
When I was young, I had a lazy eye.
Oh?
Yeah. It's not just my eye anymore.
Let's go.
was standing there at 100 right when we were walking forward.
What's that?
He was standing there like 100 yards right when we were walking forward.
DC,
Yeah, well, he see us. I don't know, he couldn't see us very well. I just got his rump standing there, so I stopped us.
Did you see him good?
Oh yeah, he's a good bull.
They're down a little better. Getting a better size.
herd that we were just on made their way up the mountain, and that water hole we were sitting yesterday is just over the edge of that. So came back to this water hole to sit and see if maybe they come in for a midday drink, get hot or whatever. And we'll see what comes in. Sit here for a few hours unless we hear some bugling that draws us away. We'll sit here and hold tight. Hopefully they get as thirsty as we do and come in for a drink. Another day, and no
Long
elk
day.
came into the water hole.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Something came in, but
Something came in up there and then it got really quiet. And I don't know how it could have slipped out of here without making noise, so we're thinking it's still bedded there.
it had to break and make noise when it came in, so
But we've been sitting here for 9 hours.
9
9 hours. And you might ask yourself, Corey built a boat yesterday. What possibly could have you done to keep busy today? Well, let me show you. I built a 3-inch shotgun shell, complete with the primer. It's wooden, it's 2 scale, it'll fit in a shotgun. But that isn't all. I also built a perfectly balanced top. And that will spin. I'll prove it when we get on a flat surface. And I still have all 7 of my fingers.
exactly.
All right. We only have like 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night where there's any activity. So rather than go back and sleep at camp, we sit here by the water hole just in case something comes in. At least we have a chance here. At camp, we don't have a chance. So.
Yeah. And they're not out moving at all during the day.
No talking. They just quit talking. Not that they're talking very much anyway, but the little bit we're getting just goes quiet as soon as the sun comes up. So we're gonna go back where we were this morning on the main ridge, and it drops down into the big flat where we sat last night. So we're gonna go. Right now the thermals are coming up, and they probably will until dark. So we're just going to try to get out alongside the herd, listen for them as they start going down, and then just kind of parallel them, work in, try to keep the wind good, and hope something will happen.
Hopefully we'll just be there, meet at the same time.
Same time, same place.
Call them over before they get down to the flat.
Or, yeah. Because they don't get to the flat until right at dark, so that's why we're starting up here, so we can start with them and move down the mountain. So. I don't know. Just when you think you have them figured out,
Yeah.
you don't. Last night there were 150 elk out in this meadow behind us. Several bulls. And so that's what led us into the ridge we were on this morning, was to get in front of them as they're heading up the mountain, and it worked really good. So we thought tonight we'll drop down there and get down low, intersect them on their way back down to the water. But they had other plans tonight, I guess.
Nowhere to be found.
Haven't even heard a peep tonight.
No.
I went 2 days without hearing anything. We finally thought we had them figured out last night, and this morning was good, and then we're right back to square one.
Yeah. And we're at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and drop all the way down from camp. And
Yeah.
here we are, ready to hike back up. At least we had 9 hours of resting by the water hole today. Probably should have sat there. All those elk are probably at that water hole now. You have a good dad joke to cheer me up?
I was going to say, we did hear a dog barking.
Dude, the distance.
Reminds me, came home from work one day and my neighbor leans over the fence and he's like, "Do you know how many times your dog barks a day?" I thought about it. I don't have any idea. I gave him a rough estimate.
Rough estimate. I don't know, Donnie.
Yeah.
John's laughing, so there must have been a little humor in it.
Yeah.
I think I'm numb to them now. I can't tell if they're lame or if they're good.
What is Jesse going to school for? X-ray tech?
Because that's what you're supposed to do after high school.
No, but what field?
Oh, no, she's going into nursing.
Nursing.
It was radiology.
Radiology.
No, it's nursing.
Whenever you're talking to a radiologist, you can't lie to them.
Why is that?
They can see right through you.
A little better. I thought we were going with another dog joke
No.
there or something. The guy that down at the bottom that has those dogs,
Yeah.
did you see their name collars? Rolex and Timex.
Yeah.
They're his watchdogs.
Yeah.
Let's get up the mountain. Your dad jokes are not getting any better this season.
That's definitely the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, we've told all the good ones. There is actually, I think we've proven there is a finite number of good dad jokes out there.
Yeah.
And new ones are not being developed very rapidly.
No.
And they're not being shared very frequently in Destination Elk this season.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Donnie eating Spam?
It's one of the best snacks there is, I believe.
That's not even an argument you can make.
He won't even try it.
That's because of the way it smells and looks. I gave some to Sam, my youngest son Sam, who is 17, and I've never abused him by making him eat Spam. I gave some to him this fall. He took one bite and got like a green look on his face and rolled the window down and threw the whole bar out the window. So,
Yeah, I think that my generation, half a generation before yours,
I'll take that.
was conditioned on Spam. So
You might be able to fry it and get me to try it, but cold, no
Yeah.
way. No way. So, leave us a comment. Do you like Spam or do you not like Spam?
Spam singles.
So gross. Well, this episode was actually 3 separate days. So days 2, 3, and 4 were all included here. And the reason why is we just weren't having action. There wasn't enough action to make 3 episodes, and we didn't want to bore you or waste your time to have you sit through and watch us walking around bugling and hearing nothing, and then going and sitting on a water hole for 10 hours.
We wanted to limit the time that we had to remind ourselves of those 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah. You saw, you know, we probably didn't share very much of our time sitting water, but we sat water for, gosh, 25 hours over those 3 days probably. Just because there's no bugling, we know the elk have to be going to water, and it just seems like we're picking the wrong water hole. They're coming to water. In fact, we could hear them. We had 2 or 3 water holes, and we sat on one. I could hear them come down the hill and go to the one 80 yards up the hill from us. But
and we couldn't even see it. All we could do is hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Not my preferred style of hunting, but sometimes you just gotta, we have more chance of seeing an elk sitting on a water hole than going back to camp and sitting there for 8 hours. So.
Yeah. And we had, over those 3 days, covered pretty much all of the property.
Yeah.
And kind of knew that hopefully these water holes would be a spot that they would come to.
Yeah. It's not like here in Idaho where you got creeks and everything running everywhere. There's pretty limited water sources. So I did get to work on my wood carving craft a little bit.
Yes, you did.
I still have all of my fingers, which is surprising, but that's I got to do something to pass time. I can't just sit, and there's only so much Sudoku or whatever you call it, the only game I had on my phone that could pass about 20 or 30 minutes, and then I had to be doing something.
Yeah, and it's hard to sleep.
Yeah.
When it's okay when I'm not a shooter, but I was a shooter every day, and if I'd have been caught sleeping and an elk came in, I don't think I'd
ever live
that one down.
We did finally get into some action. We went down low, I think it was the night of day 2, and we'd seen some elk way down low that morning, went down there, and on the adjacent private property, the elk there were 5 or 6 bulls out there bugling. So our plan was to go over, get above them, get on a ridge adjacent to them, and then work over into them as they started making their way up the mountain, which is what we did. I think we planned it pretty good. We got over there and could hear bugles and ended up bringing a really nice 6-point up the ridge and over to us.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good topic for today's failure analysis.
Yes.
To talk about that one. It's early in the season still. We talk about making mistakes in the first part of the season, but we like to be aggressive. And when we get a bull to bugle, we very rarely just set up right there and try to bring the bull the whole way in. Just experience has shown it's tough to do. But as we can move in and get closer to the bull, a lot of times that's what the bull needs to trigger him to come the rest of the way in. So our strategy has basically been get a bull to bugle, move in as close as we comfortably can, and then set up and start calling. And on that bull, he bugled, sounded like he was still clear down in the draw. And so Donnie and John started moving ahead to get set up, and I think John noticed the bull, and as Donnie was moving ahead there, and the bull saw movement. He didn't necessarily see danger or think anything, but he saw movement, and as he came a little closer, he just didn't see anything moving, and that made him nervous. So he retreated and left. He kept bugling, but turning a bull around, especially early in the season, a big bull, after he's seen movement, can't see any danger, it's hard to get his attention again. And I still, I'm a firm believer in being aggressive and pushing in, but it just seems like the last couple seasons, and especially this season, it feels like we bumped more elk doing that than what we normally do. So I think it's a good reminder to, there's a fine line between being aggressive and moving in and the benefit that comes from that, and the risk that you take of bumping an elk if you get too close. And we're maybe encroaching that line a little too closely. So good reminder to be aggressive, but also to be a little more cautious and not quite as reckless.
Yeah.
So. And then we did have the whole herd came by us there and just happened. We had a good lane right in front of where Donnie was, and then a big thick patch of trees, and then another opening on the other side of it. They just happened to go through that other opening instead of coming up to the one we were in. And I mean, they were 70, 80 yards from us the whole time. Just couldn't see them or move in to get a shot.
Yeah. It was nice to finally get on some elk, though.
And hear some real bugling.
Hear some bugling. Actually hear some responses to a call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that was morning to day 3, and then things kind of slowed down again.
Yeah.
So hopefully things will pick up in the next episode.
Yes.
So that covers day 1 in episode 1, then day 2, 3, and 4 here in episode 2. So we're getting down. We're over halfway through the hunt at this point.
Yep.
And got a couple days left to see if we can align with day 7 Donnie or last day Donnie, or just get an elk on the ground, please, Donnie.
Yeah. Well.
So a reminder, we've got the new Destination Elk V6 shirts. They're available at elk101.com/DEV6. We've got the 3 big gear giveaway packages that include gear from Peaks Equipment, including their new sleeping bag, Mountain Ops, $200 gift cards at Mountain Ops, and the tub of Bull Rush Ignite, and then some Yeti product, including their awesome Go boxes, which you remember me saying when they first came out, I don't know if I'll ever have a need for that.
Yeah.
I think I have like 6 or 7 of them now, and I need more. So
They are handy, and they came out with the 2 new sizes.
yeah,
They have the small one, the medium was the first one,
yeah.
and now they have one that's a little bit bigger even.
So the first one was a 30, and I don't know if that's 30 liters or how they measure it, but it's a 30. And then they have a 15, which is half the size, and then a 60, which is double the size. And they're all stackable, fully submersible, just rugged Yeti quality.
They're nice to have your emergency kit in your truck or anything like that.
I keep one, has all my trail cameras and trail camera accessories in it, just so if I'm going to set trail cameras, I just grab the box and know I've got batteries and SD cards and trail camera hangers and everything in there. I just got the big one, the 60, and filled it with all my wolf trapping stuff. So traps and everything. It's just, there's good organization in there, and it just makes it nice so you can just grab it and go.
Yeah.
So those giveaways, you can just go to elk101.com/DEV6 and sign up for the giveaways there. Nothing to buy, nothing to increase your chances. Everybody has equal chance.
Yep.
So, and then lastly, binge watching Destination Elk V6. We've teamed up with Randy Newberg, so if you go to Fresh Tracks Plus, that's Randy's platform where he shows all of his content and TV shows. You can go there, and there's a DEV6 option, and you can sign up for that and be able to watch all the episodes of Destination Elk V6 right now. So they're all there. They're all available to watch. You don't have to wait until mid-March to go through all 15 episodes. You can go watch them 1 a night, 15 a night, 1 a week, however you want to do it. So that option's there. This option is still here at the Elk101 YouTube channel every Tuesday and Thursday for the next several weeks. We're going to be bringing you more elk hunting action.
Yep.
So I think that's it for tonight's episode. Elk calls, just a reminder, I'm trying out a lot of different elk calls. I think I used the Phelps pink and the Phelps gray in this episode, if I remember right. And I'm loving being able to try all these different calls.
Yeah.
And finding some that are working really good for me. And it's creating some opportunity for some pretty exciting elk call news in the coming week. So stay tuned for that too. See you in the next episode, where I promise Donnie's dad jokes are going to get better.
Can't get any worse.
I was going to say only because they can't get worse.